What's going on, and welcome back to WCCF Tech TV. This is Keith again today, and the word on the street is the wait for Ryzen is over. Okay, well, maybe not quite on the street. It's actually everywhere. It's completely available for purchase, but we got our kit in a little bit late, so we weren't able to get a full proper review out. However, this is the first in several series of results that we're getting where we're pinpointing comparisons based on different metrics. But today what we're taking a look at specifically is performance coming to the 1800X as if you had an FX 8350. So the people who have held on to the 8350 for years, or just looking at AMD's last enthusiast launch. I don't count the 9590, it's just an iteration of the 8350, let's be honest. I think we all know that already. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about architectures. Matter of fact, hit the link to the article in the description below and you'll find more information on how to dig into the nitty-gritty on the chipset, the CPU architecture, and all of those great juicy details. Today we are specifically looking at comparative between the FX 8350 and the Ryzen 7 1800X in CPU-centric test, as well as GPU-bound gaming. Well, not really GPU-bound, but however, in gaming scenarios. Let's go over the system specs real quick. For the Ryzen system, we've got the Ryzen 7 1800X with 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 2400. This is on the MSI X370 X-Power Titanium motherboard with a 480 gigabyte OCZ Trion 150 SSD using a Corsair AX860i. And, well, let's move on to the FX system. We are using the FX 8350 with the Wraith cooler and 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance LP DDR3 1866 RAM on the Asus 970 Aura Pro gaming motherboard with another 480 gig OCZ Trion 150 SSD using the same Corsair AX860i power supply. So with that out of the way, let's jump in, starting with the CPU performance results and then onto the gaming performance results. Alright guys, so those were the CPU performance and gaming results. You can see the CPU performance, we got a massive uptick. Of course, we've got double the threading, so I would expect it to be faster, but overall, even indicating the single thread performance is significantly higher than it was back then. And in gaming, while there are some that's not a whole lot of improvement, overall it is a much better platform. Now, if you have an 8350 run out by the 1800X, that's going to be a hard one. You're going to have to need the productivity power of the 1800X to justify spending the $500 on this. However, if you want the threading, there is the 1700. It's at $330 US. That's a much better deal. But my personal money is going to be on the 6-core and really the 6-core, the quad-core. I think quad-core 8 thread is going to show up some pretty good performance, but I really think the value and the performance when it finally does come to market is going to be in the Ryzen 5 1600X. So we'll take a look at some speculation on that in the future, but in the next video and article we will be discussing overclocking and its personal value on whether you should even really bother with it or if it's something it's a no-brainer. So we'll catch you guys all in that one. This has been Keith with WCCF Tech, and we will catch you in the next video.